Thanks for joining me for this 10-day trend that covers the middle 10 days of November. And there'll be some classic November fare in the next 10 days with a wet and windy spell. For most of us, that's Friday. And then during the weekends, we'll see things turning calmer with lighter winds, drier as well, and also things likely to turn a little bit colder through the weekend into the early part of next week. But the trend then through next week, some uncertainty, but the main theme is that it's likely once more to become milder with the wettest weather across the northwest. More on that in a moment. First of all, let's get back to the wet and windy spell that's incoming. A couple of weakish looking weather fronts across the UK at the moment. High pressure is generally dominating, but out in the Atlantic, this area of low pressure is intensifying at the moment, and that's because of the shape and position of the jet stream. This little dip in the jet stream, this is a trough, and in those troughs, areas of low pressure tend to become more vigorous, and that's what's happening right at the moment. This low is intensifying out in the Atlantic. Now, as it gets closer to the UK, it stops intensifying. There's still quite a few isobars across the UK as we head through Thursday night and into Friday. So although the jet doesn't really develop it further as it hits the UK, it will still be what we call a mature feature and still be packing quite a bit of wet and windy weather. Where these weather fronts lie across the Northern Isles, there could be quite a bit of persistent rain. Elsewhere, a lot of isobars, so blustery, and showers will just be whizzing around that low throughout Friday. So a day of blustery showers before that low continues to fill as it drifts further south, and as it fills, the isobars open up. So the winds won't be as strong during Saturday, but still notice low pressure is very close by, so it's not going to be fine and sunny this weekend, but it will turn drier through Saturday and Sunday after a blustery, boisterous day on Friday with plenty of showers and gusty winds. There's also, as that low starts to slip away, the likelihood of things turning colder for many of us, not necessarily for all of us, but as the low slips southwards and tends to disappear, high pressure initially builds from the southwest, but this high then takes over, the Scandinavian high that will dominate through the early part of next week. Around the high pressure, the winds will be swinging in from the east, so that will bring a chillier feel through Sunday and more particularly Monday and Tuesday. These easterly winds bringing a chill across East Anglia and the southeast. Now, this is no beast. The land mass across Europe nowhere near cold enough for this to be a beast from the east, but any time you get an easterly breeze, it's never particularly warm for those eastern areas. So that will bring a chill here, but notice the winds in a different direction across the northwest. We've still got southwesterly winds across Northern Ireland and Western Scotland. So there will be something of a contrast shown nicely in these box and whiskers projections for the temperature for the next couple of weeks. Got the redding one at the bottom, Glasgow across the top. The red blobs, well, they're the maximum temperatures, and you can see that for Glasgow, it always pretty much stays above the red line, which is the average. So temperatures likely to be at or above average in Glasgow. Things get a bit more uncertain as we go into next week. But for Reading, temperatures start off above average, but there is a dip. And the boxes remain quite small, so reasonably high confidence, not too much divergence from the computer models. A strongish suggestion that it will get colder across the southeast and East Anglia into the early part of next week. But even here, the trend then into next week is for those temperatures to start to rise once more. What is likely to happen next week is the high is going to battle against weather fronts coming in from the Atlantic. This one looks like fizzling out, and the high will dominate through the early part of the week, but then suggestions that more weather fronts will pack in come Tuesday and Wednesday. Uncertainty about timing and uncertainty about exactly how they manifest themselves. Behind this one, notice there is some cold air, still a long way from the UK, but that could bring a brief colder spell across the northwest come the middle of next week. But the main theme for next week is that westerly winds will start to dominate, and this is shown by this chart, the east-west zonal trend charts, where blue is westerly wind dominating, red is an easterly wind dominating. Now, often this chart is blue because westerly winds predominate across the UK, but you can see through the weekend there, we turn red as those easterlies pick up across certainly a good part of England. But then the signal for next week is that westerlies will return. So westerlies are most likely through next week, and westerly winds bringing in the air from the Atlantic means generally, although we could see that brief colder spell, overall next week looking fairly mild with the wettest weather across the northwest, and actually not too much in the way of a signal for much rain across parts of the southeast, so staying largely dry here. Obviously, day-by-day variations will continue, so make sure you keep up to date with the very latest. And also, don't forget, COP26 continues, and you can stream the Met Office presentations from COP on YouTube on our Science and Services channel.